Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a garden and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my sight like a lot.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations manga chapter 68. And now that chapter 68 is done in the books, we got a lot to talk about in regards to fallout from this manga chapter. And I think one of the first discussions we need to have surrounding this manga chapter is this whole idea of Naruto and Sasuke potentially challenging Code and what this means for the story moving forward. Now, as we know from the end of the last Boruto manga chapter, not only did Code end up finding himself in a trap, but Code tried to pull a reverse Uno card by basically saying like, yo, you think you got me trapped in here with you and Delta? Fam, say no less. I'm gonna bring Ada out. He has Ada. Ada has the ability to control the hearts of people. And the thing about that is that on one hand, it continues the whole trend of Code acting unilaterally and doing things without Ada's consent, which is gonna give her yet another reason to kill him. However, this also sets the stage for Naruto and Sasuke to show up, because one of the things that Shikamaru says in the manga chapter when Ino says, I'm going to send reinforcements, Shikamaru makes it very clear, don't send reinforcements per se, just alert Naruto to the situation. And in this chapter, one of the people who correctly states that Code is going to come after Amado before anybody else is Sasuke. It does not seem crazy to me that Naruto does not go pick up Sasuke for this situation. It actually makes the most sense for Naruto to pick up Sasuke to assist him in this manner. And the reason why this is so huge is when Naruto pulled up last time, we had all this hope of like, yo, Wisdom age Sage Mode, his Sage Mode is going to be stronger than before. He's more refined in it. He can hold it longer. Well, the fact is that now we're in this situation where he doesn't have the handicap he did before. Naruto pulled up, fully gassed up, ready to fight, ready to catch a body, and then he sees that Boroshiki's out there, which means that Momoshiki is in control of his son's body, and Naruto's fighting spirit was being reduced at a rapid rate. And then once Kawaki killed Boruto, it completely crushed his fighting spirit. That's why I compared it to Minato when Minato showed up in the 4th Great Ninja War. Absolute monster. And then once he sees that it was Obito who is quote unquote the masked man, it completely nerfs Minato's stats, and it takes Minato a long time to regain his fighting spirit. And so in this situation, Naruto is able to cut loose a little bit more. So while he can't go super over the top because they are fighting inside of Konoha, the other thing you do have to keep in mind right now is that this just means that Naruto would have to fight Code in the same way he fought Delta, while it wouldn't be Naruto suppressed per se, in the sense that Naruto's not using full power. He would have to fight at full power against Code. The difference in all of this is you're now in a situation where Naruto can use that full power and then just work on containment of his attack. So I like using the Dragon Ball explanation. So just as you have characters who can blow up an entire planet with a ki blast, it does not mean that every ki blast that hits the ground after the Namek saga is going to blow up the planet. It's because the destructive output of that attack is contained to a certain radius. And so you have that same line of thinking here with Naruto and Sasuke showing up. And I do think that the two of them fighting alongside one another against Code, we're now in a situation where Naruto has no mental nerf, and for as strong as Code currently is right now, I think there's some evidence that kind of points to Naruto and Sasuke as a tag team might be able to overwhelm Code, especially now that they got Delta there. I do think that that Delta clone that is on the battlefield right now is likely going to be fighting as Ada. I think that that's the most likely thing. However, this is the thing that kind of makes me wonder a little bit. If Naruto and Sasuke are going up against Code, and Code uses the karma, and he starts using claw marks and etc., it's one of those things where when you start watching the battle unfold, does Sasuke come up with the counter? I think that that is very likely, because If you start using your jutsu in front of Sasuke more than one time, he's going to begin breaking down the jutsu. A perfect example is how he was able to break down Deidara's jutsu very quickly after seeing it a few times. The same way he was able to break down Jigen's jutsu, the Sukuna Hikona, very quickly. It's going to be the same thing with these claw marks. And even though Sasuke doesn't have his Rinnegan, that Sharingan's all he needs in order to get the drop on Code. And that goes back to one of the things we were told in early part 1 of Naruto, which is the fact that when you have an ace in the hole, you don't spam it. I know Naruto in part 2 just spam Rasengan, but Rasengan would kind of count as one of those maneuvers. That's your ace in the hole. You don't whip that out just casually. You whip it out when it's time to end a fight. That's why when Zabuza saw Kakashi's Sharingan for a second time, Zabuza was able to say, okay, this is what I need to do the third time I see his Sharingan. So I think you're in a similar situation here. I think that this is going to be a very good situation where Sasuke, after seeing Code go through his claw marks a few times, Sasuke's going to be able to maneuver with Naruto, and I think they're going to be able to pressure him. And when you look at just the fact that Momoshiki was able to very quickly take on Code and bully Code, but when he sees Naruto, he tells Code, we need to team up. It at least implies that Sage Mode Naruto is stronger than Amado calculated, and by extension, that means that Code has downplayed how strong the Sage Mode Naruto is. And when you have Sasuke there, this might piss some people off, but I've been pretty consistent with it. I still think that Sasuke is stronger than your Sage Mode Naruto. So this is one of those things where Code is going to be in for it in terms of a battle situation. Who can he actually take on in a one-on-one situation? He's going to have to try and do the one thing that so many people tried and failed to do, which is split up Naruto and Sasuke. Jigen was able to do it, and when Jigen did it, he absolutely just bodied them. Kaguya was able to do it to a certain extent, but they're eventually able to get back on the same page, which is why she got sealed away. When you look at Ishiki made it a point to not fight them 2 versus 1 at the same time. Ishiki very quickly began to start splitting them up and knocking them across separate ends of the battlefield. It's because when Naruto and Sasuke are together as a duo, there's something that goes beyond that of just being raw power and skill. It's why I keep mentioning what happens in the Boruto movie novelization, where Momoshiki's like, man, if I was fighting them one-on-one, I'd be able to take them out. But the problem is that when they fight together, it's more than just 1+1. It's something that can't be put into words. And I think that might be that Ashura and Indra connection. That could be what Momoshiki was sensing right there, that there's something deeper when these two are working together. I think that's going to be turned over onto Code. However, I want to know from you guys, what are you guys' thoughts about this? Let me know down in the comment section below. So always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.